Primal Chaos City Leader stood amidst the void space. 3 universe reincarnation eras can be divided into dozens of powers, with the total almost up to 100 powers, he said. Close to 100 powers, yet not one of these is comparable to the 2 holy grounds, he sighed. Both of these 2 holy grounds are extremely powerful. Compared 1-to-1, no power stands up to theirs. Of course, if we were to look at an entire universe reincarnation era and not just individual powers, even our primal universe, which seems to be the weakest reincarnation era, would be stronger than either one of the holy grounds alone. I am guessing that it would need the total powers of both holy grounds to be comparable to the power of our entire primal universe. But Luo Feng was genuinely shocked. The power of an entire primal universe? There were only a couple of universe supreme beings in the primal universe. For instance, the Home Alliance had slightly more than 30 universe masters from its top 9 powers and top tier 12 powers, but the highest power stopped at the top tier level. Although it did not have any universe supreme beings, its universe masters were far from weak. Some other universe masters were lone wanderers, some stayed hidden, and some had gone missing. Adding all these up, the entire primal universe could be estimated to have at least 1,000 universe masters. There were only a couple of universe supreme beings but close to 1,000 universe masters. And 2 holy grounds had to be combined powers to stay competitive and comparable? Don't look so shocked, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Putting together both holy grounds, the total quantity of universe masters might not match up to ours in the primal universe, but they may have undergone countless cycles of reincarnation, he sighed. They may not best us in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality they are top-notch. At least they dared to step out of their comfort zone to wander and roam, and most of them can comprehend a strongest technique. Luo Feng sucked in a breath of cool air. A strongest technique? Those who came out were all able to comprehend the strongest techniques. This was the information recorded by great beings from the primal universe, the final stage of ruination of the second universe era, the first universe era, and the 2 holy grounds. With a wave, Primal Chaos City Leader took out a transparent crystal ball that was dazzling with threads of golden light. In a serious tone, he said, "This is extremely classified information, and it has taken us eons to collect it. Some of these materials may implicate highly confidential events. Even if the powers of our primal universe did communicate and exchange information, the highly confidential ones are always kept hidden. Once you have finished going through them, destroy it all." "Yes, teacher," Luo Feng said, nodding. He understood. During the trip to Universe Ocean, Primal Chaos City Leader had been gradually briefing him on some of the information he needed to know first and foremost. If such a great deal of information was directly given to him while still in the primal universe, he might not have absorbed it with due vigilance. But in Universe Ocean, if one saw how the universe had undergone ruination and personally experienced the kind of shock it brought about, he would come to hold such information in high regards. With the transparent crystal ball in his hand, Luo Feng penetrated it with his godly power. At that moment, information rushed into his mind. Within this universe that was collapsing, there were a few godly corpses floating afar. Primal Chaos City Leader's attention was focused on Luo Feng, who was accepting the information he had been given. Luo Feng's eyes widened as he gazed at Primal Chaos City Leader. "Have you felt the pressure yet?" Primal Chaos City Leader laughed. "Yes." Luo Feng nodded repeatedly. After learning all this confidential information, Luo Feng felt a rising sense of crisis. It was too weak. The primal universe he was from was indeed the weakest. His godly power was at a disadvantage. Being the weaker side, he relied on Miniature Universe, Wu Wings, and Flame Sand Cup to enable himself to be one of the better faring ones in the primal universe. However, if he was compared amongst those in the Universe Ocean, it was obvious that he would be at the end of the line. Just like the 2 holy grounds, in terms of godly power, Luo Feng lost when it came to strength. Furthermore, all of those that formed the 2 holy grounds were able to comprehend their strongest technique. Meanwhile, even if Luo Feng had Miniature Universe, Wu Wings, and Flame Sand Cup to boost his power, he still ranked at the bottom compared to the 2 holy grounds. "Initially, I intended for you to come here only after you had become a Universe Master," said Primal Chaos City Leader. "You may not have the ability to win fights, but you are very competent at keeping yourself alive. If you continue to sharpen and hone your skills, it will be very helpful in helping you become a Universe Master." Luo Feng nodded. "Let us go." Shwa! Primal Chaos City leader led the way for Luo Feng. They left this miniature universe that was on the verge of collapsing in an instant and continued on their journey. They continuously teleported at a high frequency, at times traveling along natural wormholes. On the 6th day after Luo Feng entered Universe Ocean, amidst the endless chaotic airflow. Right ahead is one of the dangerous lands, said Primal Chaos City leader, pointing to a point far ahead. Vibrating Sand River. Although its danger level is much lower than the 3 most dangerous lands, if caught trespassing, you would still face the danger of annihilation. Even for me, I must pay extra caution when exploring that land. If we were so arrogant as to teleport anywhere we wish within the Vibrating Sand River, I'm afraid we would be in danger of being annihilated. Luo Feng nodded. On the Universe Ocean map given to him previously, there were many descriptions of the various dangerous lands, and Vibrating Sand River was considered an average one. Within Universe Ocean, we humans must know the dangerous lands, said Primal Chaos City leader. The total consists of more than 3,000 places, and with the passing of time, the numbers are gradually increasing. He laughed and continued. Universe Ocean is truly too big. Only places like the 2 holy grounds would know more about these dangerous lands, but they are not willing to share the information with us. In a blink of the eye, it was already Luo Feng's 8th day in the Universe Ocean. Primal Chaos City leader brought Luo Feng on another teleportation before they finally stopped. Very soon, we will be able to see one of the 3 most dangerous lands, Tilted Peak Sector. The other dangerous lands were nothing compared to Tilted Peak Sector. Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader stood in the void space, side by side, and gazed into the distance. Luo Feng squinted. Wow! In the distance was a lofty mountain. One of the peaks had fallen off to mid-mountain level, as though some great existence with limitless power had sliced through the mountain horizontally, causing the peak to fall off midway down the mountain. Hua! 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 From the peak of that slippery main mountain, enormous waterfalls cascaded down, landing midway down the mountain. The water flows spread out to fill its surroundings, submerging a small part of the fallen mountain peak. At the same time, countless small rocks rotated around that mountain peak in continuous flight. That is Tilted Peak Sector, explained Primal Chaos City leader. It is named Tilted Peak because the mountain's peak fell in this tilted manner. Look at those small rocks. He pointed to the countless rocks continuously flying in a winding manner around the mountain and said with a laugh, We are currently 100 million light-years away. They seem like small rocks from here. If you were to guess, how big do you think they are? Luo Feng was stunned. The Universe Ocean map that was given to him was considered very detailed in its descriptions of Tilted Peak Sector. For instance, Tilted Peak Sector's main mountain stood at a height of 98.02 million light-years, and the fallen peak had a maximum diameter of 12.26 million light-years. The external domain made up the outside area of the mountain. Its danger level was lower, but some dangerous spots in the external domain would still be enough to annihilate certain Universe Masters who were weaker in the ability to save themselves. The internal domain made up the inside area of the mountain. The danger level here was very high, even the strongest Universe Masters might be annihilated. Meanwhile, at the core of the mountain even Universe Supreme Beings might be annihilated. The rocks? Luo Feng muttered under his breath. The map did not provide any descriptions of the sizes of those rocks, whether they are big or small. But if the main mountain is tall as 98.02 million light-years, then, going by proportion, we could estimate the sizes of those rocks. Luo Feng tried to visualize how big the rocks were by estimation. I suppose the size would be measured in terms of light-years, he said, again shocked by what he just learned. Within the primal universe, a mountain as tall as 100 million light-years was an impossible sight. For a single rock to take a size that had to be calculated in light-years, only Universe Ocean, where the primal universe had emerged from, could make this possible. Primal Chaos City leader laughed. Let us go. We are still very far from it. We still need to teleport for quite some time. A while later, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader made it to the external area of Tilted Peak Sector. Hua! Hua! Numerous gigantic boulders flew about at high speeds. Previously, while they had observed the scene from 100 million light-years away, these had appeared to be small rocks. Now, looking at them close up, they were so big that they were practically immeasurable, and all of them were maintaining a speed of flight that was several times the speed of light. The ultimate speed of light in Universe Ocean was not the same as the speed of light in the primal universe. Look, said Primal Chaos City leader. That is one of the great beings from the Geo race, one of the pinnacle races from the first universe era. Primal Chaos City leader pointed to a beast in the distance. It took the look of a flying beast with gigantic wings covered with scales and a blood-red body. It was looking in their direction. Primal Chaos City leader, it said. The flying beast's single eye flashed a look of fear, then it teleported away as soon as it could. The Geo race, said Luo Feng. He recalled that the races that had been born 2 universe reincarnation eras before the final ruination would exhibit differences from the Geo race in the current primal universe upon undergoing changes. The Geo race had been born within the current primal universe, but the entire race had since been exterminated. However, during the first universe reincarnation era, it had actually developed into a pinnacle race. Shwa! 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 They teleported repeatedly, and another long moment passed. Passing by celestial rocks that were flying at a speed which was a few times faster than the speed of light, they finally landed on a celestial rock with a diameter of approximately 8.2 light-years. The external domain of Tilted Peak Sector has countless celestial rocks, and these rocks are constantly flying at an extremely high speed, Primal Chaos City leader said. He stood on the surface of the celestial rock and looked around at the surrounding void space. However, standing on this celestial rock, you will realize that all the other rocks appear relatively static. Luo Feng nodded. Yes. The rocks that were near the main mountain peak were flying slowly, while the ones farthest away flew the fastest. This was how the relative distance between the countless rocks was kept at an eternal constant. Hugh Jack's creator is currently here in Tilted Peak Sector. Primal Chaos City leader laughed and continued. So, the great beings of our human race and universe ocean are mainly gathered here in Tilted Peak Sector. Understanding dawned upon Luo Feng. No wonder Hugh Jack's creator was not aware of what happened earlier in the Yuan Ao's secret region. He was right here. This celestial rock will be the temporary gathering point for our human race, Primal Chaos City leader explained. Of course, universe masters of other races from the Hong Alliance will be gathering here, too. Follow me. He led Luo Feng away via short-distance teleportation. Shwa! They reached another spot that was 3 light-years away from the celestial rock. On the surface of the celestial rock, any of those indentations could easily be as deep as 1,000,000 miles or even more. Amidst this valley was a temple. Outside the temple, 2 figures were engaged in casual conversation. When they saw Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City leader arriving all of a sudden, they rushed to greet him. Primal Chaos City leader, said one. Primal Chaos City leader, you have arrived, said the other. Have you brought Luo Feng? The moment Luo Feng landed within the valley, he could sense a total of 5 universe masters inside and outside the temple. They were all universe masters whom Luo Feng had seen before via the virtual universe, and they exuded auras that were the same as the simulated ones in the virtual universe, which was why he was able to determine their identities clearly. Out of these 5 universe masters, 3 were from the human race, and 2 were members of the Hong Alliance, and were from non-human races. Primal Chaos City leader. Primal Chaos City leader. 3 figures stepped out from the palace to welcome them, clearly appearing because Primal Chaos City leader was a figure of an extremely high position. Milky Way Horde leader, welcome to Tilted Peak Sector. Friendly laughter resounded. This was someone Luo Feng was familiar with. Remote Lord Master. In the Godly Palace, 7 universe masters sat around the round table. We all come from Tilted Peak Sector to see you, knowing you were here. Remote Lord Master smiled. Both of them were of the bloodline of teacher origin. One was a disciple of Darkness Master, and the other was a disciple of Primal Chaos City leader, so they were naturally close. Luo Feng looked around. Pingong Master, Absolute Darkness Master, Firestone Master, Roach Prison Master, thanks for welcoming me here. This is the first time you entered Universe Ocean. We surely need to welcome you here. Pingong Master stroked his beard and smiled. Some Universe Masters entered the water area or internal area of Tilted Peak Sector. It'll take them at least 100 years, sometimes even an era, to fly out, as they need to dodge the dangerous places, which is why they're not here. Luo Feng nodded. The more dangerous the place was, the more cautious he needed to be when teleporting. It's the first time Luo Feng has entered Universe Ocean, so, according to the tradition, Primal Chaos City leader waved his hands, and wine cups showed up in front of all the Universe Masters. There was already wine in them. Primal Chaos City leader smiled and said to his disciple, Milky Way Horde leader, we wish for you to have endless true treasures and eternal life. The other 5 Universe Masters followed. Endless true treasures, eternal life. Luo Feng nodded. Endless true treasures and eternal life. He knew about this tradition as well. After all, it would be a real adventure in Universe Ocean. Even Universe Masters with multiple bodies could die. Even Universe Supreme Masters could be killed. Nobody could say for sure that they could survive. They could only avoid those places that were too dangerous. Without a doubt, it was an adventure in Universe Ocean, and they were all there for valuables. Milky Way Horde Leader, although we wish you endless true treasures and eternal life, I have some warnings to give you, said Firestone Master. Luo Feng raised his eyebrow and smiled. Please go on, Firestone Master. He heard that Firestone Master was stubborn and straightforward. Firestone Master's voice resounded in the palace. Your power is enough to see the outer area of Tilted Peak Sector with other Universe Masters. However, it's not enough to adventure alone and get true treasures. The Universe Supreme Masters from the first Universe era are all maniacs. If you meet one of them, you might die. Of course, you have multiple bodies, but the true treasures with your human body might be gone. I think your true treasures are highly valuable. Luo Feng shook his head. It was indeed true that this Firestone Master was forthright. He knew he was not strong enough, but it was unnecessary to be so frank. That's right, said Remote Lord Master. The great beings from the first Universe era are mad. They might haunt you to death. We can't really blame them, said Absolute Darkness Master. There were generations of incarnations in the universe. Even if they can survive the Big Bang of the original universe, a great being can live, at most, for 3 incarnations. When the time has come, all the great beings of the first Universe era will die, including Universe Supreme Masters. That's right, 3 eras at most. Just look at those broken miniature universes, and you'll know how many Universe Supreme Masters have died. Almost nobody can live for more than 3 incarnations. Except the 2 sanctuaries. Those are only 2 universes. Luo Feng nodded. There were indeed lots of mysteries in Universe Ocean. Why 3 incarnations only? And why were the 2 sanctuaries the exceptions? How large was Universe Ocean? How many small universes were there in Universe Ocean? How many dangerous places were there? How many lands of extremists were there? Were there only 3 lands of extremists? Could there be a 4th land of extremists aside from the Tilted Peak Sector, flowing countless mountains, and Universe Boat? The first Universe era faces extinction, said Primal Chaos City Leader. So they train themselves with madness. Without a doubt, you can only break the circle if you get stronger. After all, the 2 sanctuaries succeeded, so nobody wants to give up. Luo Feng, you need to watch out for the great beings of the first Universe era. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng nodded. Not only those from the first Universe era, said Firestone Master. You need to mark down all those top-tier Universe Masters. You need to avoid them, and the 2 sanctuaries. You need to avoid everyone from the 2 sanctuaries. You're nothing compared to them. Luo Feng frowned. I know you're upset now, but this is for us of the Han Alliance, said Firestone Master. If you run into danger, report it to the virtual universe, and the virtual universe system will tell all the great beings in the Han Alliance. Great beings closest to you will get there as soon as possible. I understand. Luo Feng nodded his head without saying anything further. He was indeed a bit displeased, but he didn't defend himself against anything. He wanted to prove himself with his accomplishments. Soon, Remote Lord Master, Pengong Master, Absolute Darkness Master, Firestone Master, and Roach Prison Master left the palace and started to adventure through Tilted Peak Sector. Roach Prison Master and Firestone Master were talking in the space of the outer area of Tilted Peak Sector. Firestone, why were you so mean just now? Luo Feng isn't that weak. Why? Why do I have to be less mean? Just because of Primal Chaos City Leader? Besides, I wasn't wrong. Firestone Master's nose exhaled fire. Luo Feng fought Master of Banff before. Master of Banff is good at illusions and bad at material attack, and he doesn't even have a supreme technique. How did Luo Feng do? He was suppressed, and he could barely rival Master of Banff with that miniature universe. That miniature universe killed all those universe knights with one shot. Roach Prison Master said. Humph! He can only kill the weaker ones, said Firestone Master. A miniature universe is like a domain-type true treasure. It can only kill the weak, but what about the strong? It can only aid, and that kind of supreme technique requires a lot of energy. It consumes godly power, and it can only add some power. Even so, he only has material attack skills equivalent to Master of Banff. Without that miniature universe, anyone can crush him. Firestone Master was breathing fire again as he continued. Humph! I was being too nice. He is one of the weakest. Those ancient guys from the first universe era are all mad, and everyone from the 2 sanctuaries can crush him. Was I wrong? If he dies, the true treasures will be seized. How long has he practiced? The true treasures might be bestowed by the human race. We have to make great efforts to get a good universe master, yet he has so many after just becoming a universe master. Just wait and see. He'll be crushed. Yes, he is indeed weak. Roach Prison Master lowered his giant head. Humph! Said Firestone Master. He is human, so his teacher Primal Chaos City Leader will go rescue him every time he is in danger. Without his teacher, he'll definitely be killed in Tilted Peak Sector. Only Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader were left in the palace. Luo Feng, I'll go adventure as well, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Contact me through the virtual universe. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng nodded. Okay. Primal Chaos City Leader glanced at Luo Feng, smiled, and disappeared. Luo Feng looked back to the godly palace. He was the only one here now. It seemed that great beings in Universe Ocean were indeed sharpening themselves. I need to study the information on Tilted Peak Sector and great beings. On a rock outside the godly palace, Luo Feng closed his eyes with his legs crossed and started to organize the information and highlight the important parts. Hua! The rocks were flying at a speed several times the speed of light, but Luo Feng looked tranquil. He didn't rush to adventure the outer area of Tilted Peak Sector. Ha! Luo Feng took a token out. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest is contacting me? No wonder it's a true treasure communications token. I can make contact even in Universe Ocean. Luo Feng penetrated the token with a trace of his mind. Luo Feng, are you in Universe Ocean? Sitting Mountain Guest passed on a piece of information. Yes, answered Luo Feng. Which lands of extremists? Asked Sitting Mountain Guest. Tilted Peak Sector. How do you know I am in one of the lands of extremists? Because they have the most true treasures. Where else would you go? Some remote and dangerous places with few valuables? The human race is not stupid. Okay, if you run into danger you can call for help, but I hope you won't do so. I understand, answered Luo Feng. Universe Ocean, deep in the chaos airflow, in a dangerous place known as Beihua Shuelan Domain. A palace was floating. There were servants in the palaces, all of them were universe knights. This was where Sitting Mountain Guest really lived, and Beihua Shuelan Domain represented him. There were almost 100 powers in Universe Ocean, but no power wanted to mess with Sitting Mountain Guest. Everyone knew he was a handful. Inside the palace, a towering elder sat on the throne, and a human with a snake's tail and a human body was serving him. Haha, Pooty, your little brother entered Universe Ocean as well, Sitting Mountain Guest's voice rumbled. Congratulations, teacher, said Pooty. It's too early to congratulate me now. He is not powerful enough. Sitting Mountain Guest looked down at Pooty. Pooty, you've been following me the longest, so you know me the best. Your second brother disappoints me, so I have almost given up on him now. You're the most hard-working one, but I know that Luo Feng has the greatest potential, followed by your second brother. You have the least potential, but now you're the strongest. Pooty bowed. I've been practicing for the longest time, and I've been by your side. I've seen a lot, so I comprehended more. He was low-key and never showed off. Even Flame Emperor looked down on Pooty, as he only viewed him as a servant. He didn't know that Pooty had surpassed him. I'll give you a chance. The same chance your second and third brother have. Go to Universe Ocean. Sitting Mountain Guest looked at Pooty and took out a piece of blue wood. I can't give you the true treasure that suits you best, so I'll give you this strange object. Godly would I've had it for an eternity, but I just view it as a collectible. You should be able to wield its power. Pooty's godly body trembled. The same chance his second and third brother had? He'd been waiting for this for so long. Yes, teacher, I'll try my best not to disappoint you. Pooty bowed, but his voice was filled with faith. Sitting Mountain Guest nodded. Go. Pooty bowed again before leaving the palace. Sitting Mountain Guest looked through the palace door toward Tilted Peak Sector in the distance, and he said slowly, I've been waiting for too long. On the surface of the celestial rock was a soul that looked as big as a speck of dust. Standing at a height of thousands of kilometers was the human form of Luo Feng. Tilted Peak Sector! Luo Feng stood on the celestial rock and looked around the vast void space that surrounded him. From afar, he could see the lofty and boundless main mountain with a gigantic waterfall cascading from its peak. It exuded endless power without restraint. This power attracted countless celestial rocks to circulate it while in flight, and it also forced a great amount of chaotic airflow to break apart. From today onward I, Luo Feng, shall start to roam Universe Ocean. Radiant rays surged in Luo Feng's eyes, making them sparkle like crystals. Shwa! He disappeared from the celestial rock right away and reappeared amidst the faraway void space. Thereafter, he repeatedly teleported himself and charged down toward the boundless water domain that took form upon repeated impact by the cascading waterfall. Tilted Peak Sector's external domain could be divided into Space Domain and Water Domain. Space Domain referred to the void space where many gigantic celestial rocks flew about randomly. The danger level here was extremely low, as only some celestial rocks would occasionally pose a degree of danger. The majority of these countless celestial rocks had already been explored over a long period of time. That was why great beings would more often refer to the external domain of Tilted Peak to the water domain. The water domain that took form under the impact of the cascading waterfall spread out to encircle the entire main mountain. There were jagged rocks of distorted forms fraught with danger. Many areas would deter even Universe Masters from teleporting about. Universe Masters had to be extremely careful even when they were flying forward. They would only dare teleport when they were by the area near the edge of the water domain and had carefully inspected with a domain-type true treasure to ensure that the coast was clear. The most common yet most terrifying danger found within the water domain in the external domain of Tilted Peak region would be water flow spirit. Luo Feng stood high up in the sky and overlooked the vast water domain beneath him. The water domain was massive, with a diameter of a couple 100 million light-years. It was even bigger than an entire human universe kingdom, and bigger than the ancestral god's secret region. Water flow spirits have no intelligence, nor do they bear any consciousness, Luo Feng said to himself. They only have basic instincts. They will only attack you if you get close to them. A water flow spirit in this water domain will be able to rely on its surroundings for power, and such power is comparable to that of a Universe Master. Thereafter, he was extremely careful as he directly rushed into the water domain below him, causing splashes of water as he landed. In Universe Ocean, even undying godly spirits would be annihilated the moment they entered. Yet this endless water domain was able to exist. Clearly, there must have been something extraordinary about this water. Every drop was like a star, and when waves of this water surged, the impact was extremely frightening. However, Universe Masters would still be able to block off this impact without difficulty. The water domain is fraught with danger but loaded with treasures. Luo Feng was also aware that the treasures within the water domain existed in various forms. To obtain a treasure, one needed luck, power, and guts. When Luo Feng entered the water domain, the depths of the vast and limitless water domain was around 100 million light-years. With such a large quantity of undulating rocks, and the water pressure reaching such a frighteningly suppressive degree, even a universe knight could have turned to powder in an instant. Hong! Long! 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 One celestial stone slowly rose from beneath, causing the surrounding stones to start vibrating as it continued its gradual emergence. Slowly, it continued. The entire process took quite a while before coming to a halt. The celestial stone was already jutting out at an approximate height of close to 1,000,000 kilometers. Then peace resumed. Being 100 million light-years away, Luo Feng did not detect anything amiss. He continued to explore the water domain with extreme care, and he was only at the shallowest region of the water domain. 3 million light-years away from Luo Feng, Firestone Master, with his towering godly body vaguely encircled by flames, flew slowly within the water domain. As a matter of course, he had parted ways with Roach Prison Master. After all, while roaming the Universe Ocean, the chances of finding treasures would be higher if one was traveling alone. Humph! Humanity sent Luo Feng into Universe Ocean, probably for him to hone his skills and steal himself. They want to cultivate his ability well. We, the non-human races from the Hong Alliance, did not have such opportunities. Firestone Master was filled with bitterness. He was able to gain so many true treasures without having to take any risks. It was said that, at the Sector Lord level, he already owned a few true treasures. We shall see. See how much trouble this fellow can create. I think it won't take him long to start calling various parties for help. Firestone Master was filled with disdain. Such occurrences of great beings seeking help were not unprecedented. Way back when the demons of the primal universe wanted to cultivate and train Chang Vulture Master, who was an extraordinary genius with staggering powers and extremely high potential, they sent him into Universe Ocean to enable him to hone his skills. They bestowed him with some formidable true treasures for self-protection. When he met with dangers that he could not ward off or resist, other great beings from the demon race would send help immediately. After a long period of training and cultivation, Chang Vulture Master eventually became a Universe Master known to be the cream of the crop and a most frightening figure. He was high in the ranks, only second to Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor. Apparently, Dream Demon Ancestor and Shock Demon Ancestor were incredibly sharp in identifying Chang Vulture Master's potential. But this did not conceal the fact that Chang Vulture Master had sent out calls for help on several occasions, and those calls for help had created quite a commotion among the entire Demon Alliance. Luo Feng has great potential. Definitely an extraordinary genius with astounding power, but obviously still at the bottom of the ranks. If he were to run into the older Universe Masters, he would be at a great disadvantage and would probably have to send out calls for help. Firestone Master shook his head. Make a scene, just go ahead and make a scene. There is only one thing that I don't know. Will he be able to reach the level of Chang Vulture Master of the demon race in the future? Although he was displeased, Firestone Master knew that the moment Luo Feng asked for help, if he was nearby, he would immediately dash over to wherever Luo Feng was to render help. If he asks for help and I provide him with help, I'll be able to give him a piece of my mind, Firestone Master said to himself. He knew that this would make Luo Feng unhappy, but he was a Universe Master who had undergone an immeasurable period of cultivation. Why should he allow himself to be bound by any rules or anything else at all? If he wanted to laugh, he would. If he felt like scolding, he was die-hard stubborn. So what? I am unhappy with you, he thought. I would curse at you. I simply cannot find anything pleasing about you, Luo Feng. So what can you do? Firestone Master was in the depth of the water domain, careful to avoid the water flow spirits in the distance. The water flow spirits were all white. At times, they took the form of white airflows. Other times, they took the form of humans, and other times, they were in the form of beasts. They were always in different strange forms as they drifted about the water domain. This area was already considered quite deep and extremely dangerous. The speed of flight was way much slower. And teleporting? It was impossible to teleport at all. After all, once a water flow spirit attached itself to any being, the results were scary to imagine. Huh! A sudden realization gave Firestone Master a good shock. A sealed space? The space waves within the surroundings of the water domain ceased in a split second. Firestone Master knew there was trouble looming. He looked around carefully and saw a spot of light in the distance. The spot of light laughed. Its laughter was transmitted via the water domain, and almost within an instant, it reached Firestone Master. Ha ha! Firestone Master from the human alliance of the primal universe? That spot of light, it was a life form taking the form of a human. His entire body gave off a hazy, white light, and at the back of his head there was a circular white light. Amidst the white light was a vague form of a gigantic, single-eyed shadow. Divine Eye Race! Firestone Master immediately transformed into a beam of light and fled. The Divine Eye race was one of the pinnacle races from the first universe era and was said to be the strongest pinnacle race during that era, with a total of 7 universe supreme beings within the race. The Divine Eye race was a very secretive and scary race. They could have emerged in the first universe reincarnation era, possibly due to certain unique accidents that happened during the evolution of the primal universe, and they possessed astounding power. You think you can escape us? He great being from the Divine Eye race said. Hong! Long! Countless grains of sand appeared out of nowhere, and these countless grains filled the surrounding area with a radius of 3 light years within an instant. The surrounding space was earlier sealed, but even if it had not been sealed, no one would have dared to teleport through it without inhibitions. After all, this area was a dangerous land located deep within. A radius of 3 light years, how could Firestone Master possibly fly out of it within a short time? Ice Sand Ocean! Firestone Master gritted his teeth and looked back at that human form life being dazzling with white light. With a furious hum, he spurted flames out of his nostrils. And young Master, I have not gained any incredible true treasure, and I escaped the moment I saw you. Must you chase after me so relentlessly? Life is limited. The human form dazzling with white light slowly articulated. Eternity is hard to find. Through endless killings, I seek the path to eternity. This is my only path now. Firestone Master, meet your doom. Hua! Enshrouded in white light, with circular white rays at the back of his head, the single-eyed shadow of an young master approached at an extremely high speed and charged towards Firestone Master at full force. Damn, said Firestone Master, then he roared in rage. Want to kill me? In your dreams! Yet he continued fleeing at full throttle, trying his very best to stall for time. At the same time, in the primal universe, his other body was speedily calling for help within the virtual universe. Previously, I was still commenting about Luo Feng's pleas for help. Who would have thought that, in the blink of an eye, I would become the one asking for help? This lunatic from the first universe era, he truly is insane. How unlucky I am to have bumped into an young master. Firestone Master was filled with anxiety. He knew that he was facing true danger now. I only have a hope of surviving if either Primal Chaos City Leader or Pingong Master rushes over now. Firestone Master was also aware that those who were able to make it over to him within the shortest time possible were those few he had met up with earlier at the gathering point: Remote Lord Master, Roach Prison Master, and Absolute Darkness Master. But they were not powerful enough, and Luo Feng was not even worth a mention. Only Primal Chaos City Leader and Pingong Master could save him. But those two were so powerful that they would most probably be at the internal domain of Tilted Peak Sector, and if they were really at the internal domain, then rushing over here would take a long time. The call for help was sent, and the virtual universe system transferred the call to the Universe Masters of the Human Alliance who were within Universe Ocean at that very moment right away. Within the deep mountain region of Tilted Peak Sector's main mountain, Firestone Master is calling for help? And young Master of the Divine Eye race from the first universe era is hunting him down? Hong! Long! Flames shot up into the sky. Every flame exerted an impact that was strong enough to annihilate a universe master. A barbaric giant whose every step was elusive like that of a phantom flashed past the erratic outburst of flames. I am too deep inside. Even rushing back will take a long time. I won't be able to make it on time. Firestone, you have to depend on your luck. And young Master? At that moment, Roach Prison Master was considered the nearest to Firestone Master. It was somewhere within the water domain, more than 1 million light-years away from Firestone Master. On its gigantic head, its eyes blinked. Big trouble. I'm afraid my presence will not make much of a difference, but I will try my best and see if I can be of any help. Hua! Roach Prison Master sped up and charged into the sky. With a single teleportation, he was in the upper skies of the water domain. Thereafter, he repeatedly teleported through the void space to get to his intended destination in the fastest time possible. Luo Feng also received the call for help. Huh! A call for help? Firestone Master is calling out for help? The address indicates that the place is only slightly more than 3 million light-years away from me. Luo Feng did feel some resentment toward Firestone Master, but they both were, after all, fellow members of the Human Alliance. And young Master is not one to be trifled with. Shwa! Luo Feng teleported out of the water domain right away and thereafter teleported repeatedly and speedily, rushing toward his destination.